Deleuze and Guattari develop a complex model of society in Anti-Oedipus mainly to provide a new explanation of Freud's Oedipus complex. But it is also the basis for a dynamic understanding of society in which layers of social codes overlap and reinforce each other. Deleuze and Guattari describe three social machines, which they label as territorial, despotic, and capitalist. In every machine, parts or building blocks are developed that contribute to modern subjectivity. Close reading of this chapters in Anti-Oedipus is very worthwhile, but it also requires a great deal of perseverance and enthusiasm. Alone, the description as machines is unusual, but it simply points out that there are productive assemblages that can also give up their function and have their parts rebuilt. The new social machine then takes over aspects of the old machine but uses the parts differently. And each social machine has its own basis on which it functions. The territorial machine needs the body of the earth. Nomadic life and first villages function according to this first machine. Deleuze and Guattari refer to hunting and the strict rules associated with the consumption of prey. In this way, wealth is distributed, and hunters have only indirect access to their prey. At the same time, some of the wealth is transformed into social capital in village feasts. These are just two examples of coding in the territorial machine. Deleuze and Guattari refer to different ethnological studies, but do not want to establish uniformity in human history with these descriptions. They deal with the examples they describe, each of which represents a possible social formation in transition to the next one. This becomes especially clear in the transition from the territorial to the despotic machine. Production, coding and wealth are treated significantly differently in the two machines. The entire society of this new machine can be understood as the body of the despot, whose organs reflect the social organization. The guilds are the hands, the agriculture is the belly, the ears are the espionage, and the feet are the soldiers. The rules and codes of the territorial machine are not abolished in the process, but overcoded and reterritorialized by the despot. Economic production also changes, and a considerable portion of the wealth of the despotic machine is spent on courtly pageantry and the aristocracy. This is possible through a system of levies and taxes which overcodes the distribution of wealth in the territorial machine. In the capitalist machine, duties and taxes continue to exist, but the handling of production, coding and wealth again behaves differently. The body of the capitalist machine is capital, and wealth is always returned to capital as surplus value. Thus, capitalism forms an unstable social formation in which labor power is sold and new products are invented all the time. The gaseous and explosive basis of capitalism needs stabilization, which is given by the family. Here the hierarchy of the despotic machine is continued and older codes from the territorial machine can also be internalized. The modern family, in turn, is stabilized by institutions such as Freudian psychoanalysis that obscure the historical genesis of modern subjectivity. An important aspect of this subjectivity in Anti-Oedipus is guilt, which can be derived from financial debt, which is treated differently in each social machine. In the territorial machine there was a flexible exchange of debt. Goods and services were exchanged and debt could circulate. The circulation of debt gave rise to money, as materialized debt. With the despot's taxes, this debt became infinite since taxes must be paid again and again. But it is only in capitalism that debt is internalized and becomes a form of guilt, which entails self-optimization and constant performance improvement. This guilt-driven subjectivity constantly adapts, and this is necessary for the capitalist machine. The reiterated dissolution of values represents a decoding, which recodes itself in ever new products and services. The nuclear family is a central element in this machine, which somewhat stabilizes the constant decoding, but above all secures the basic coding for the modern subjectivity. This emerging subjectivity cannot be simplified to the point of being explained by a simple model. But the basic coding in the territorial machine, the formation of infinite debt in the despotic machine, and its internalization in the capitalistic machine are important aspects of modern subjectivity. And in this way, subjectivity is a result of different layers of codes that overlap and merge. Thus, an understanding of subjectivity becomes an archaeology in which individual, familial, cultural, and historical elements are interwoven. So we are only at the beginning of our journey and will still need a lot of time and love to be able to properly explain subjectivity and difference. But so far, thanks for watching and see you next time.